The first coronavirus death in the U.S. happened weeks earlier than previously thought. Up until now, it was believed the country's first fatality was on February 26th in Washington state. But now, health officials in California say autopsies reveal 2 people with COVID-19 died at home earlier in the month, on February 6th and 17th. Both deaths happened in Santa Clara County. It's not known exactly how the 2 became infected, but the cases are believed to be community transmissions not related to travel. They died at a time when the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention restricted testing for the virus to those with a known travel history to infected areas. The newly identified coronavirus deaths are changing the timeline of when it's believed the virus arrived in the U.S. The country now has the most COVID-19 cases in the world, with well over 800,000 infections and more than 45,000 deaths. And a new warning this week from Dr. Robert Redfield. In an interview with the Washington Post, the CDC director warns a second wave of coronavirus is likely to be even more devastating. Dr. Redfield telling the paper Tuesday that the second surge of the novel coronavirus will be far more dire because it is likely to coincide with the start of flu season. Having 2 simultaneous respiratory outbreaks, he says, would put unimaginable strain on the healthcare system. The 1918 Spanish flu came in 3 waves over the course of 2 years, resulting in at least 50 million deaths worldwide. That's according to the CDC's website that says the pandemic peaked in the U.S. during the second wave in the fall of 1918. This highly fatal second wave was responsible for the most of the U.S. deaths attributed to the pandemic. More protests against stay-at-home orders in the U.S. Wednesday, this one in Virginia. Redfield telling the Washington Post those demonstrations are not helpful, and that he and other members of the White House coronavirus task force have emphasized the importance of social distancing and the enormous impact, he says, that it's had on this outbreak. Well, we have seen a number of protests in recent days. A new poll from the Associated Press shows demonstrators represent just a small section of the U.S. and that the majority of Americans support restrictions to slow the spread of COVID-19. For City News, I'm Melissa Duggan.